Good morning, everybody. It's John from Veganism KILLS. And today, we're going to go over how vegans get their fake 80% grain grown goes to feed livestock. I have this one vegan who says he's a statistician and he teaches stats on campus when he's not even a teacher. What goes on in vegans' minds is barren as the world that they'll leave if we let them get their way. Now, vegans have this formula that it's called a conversion rate. What every head of livestock eats can be converted to food for people, 3 versus 1, 3 people versus 1 cattle. Now, if you take the 8 billion cattle and you times that by 3, this is how they get the figure that you'll be able to feed 24 billion people with what livestock eats in edible grain. What they don't tell you is that the figures aren't adjusted for the fact that animals eat grain that humans can't digest, and that makes up 86% of the animal's diet. So now you say 3 people. So what happens when you take out that 86% out of the equation of 3 people? So that means we got to remove, simple, how many people they actually can feed when we adjust it for the corrected conversion rate. So 3 times 86% means that's what has to be removed from the 3 people. So what one cow eats can now, in reality, feed this many people per year. Less than 1/2 a person, maybe a child, 1 child. Then I found out, because you see vegans do a lot of this, and the frontal lobe is not working. You know, the emotions are all over the place, and none of the thoughts going through the head go through the logic center of the frontal lobe on a vegan. That's why they're mentally ill, because they can't control their emotions in anything. They'll insert it in their fake science. They'll twist figures. They'll lie. They just want to satisfy their own emotional need. It has nothing to do with fulfilling anybody's nutritional needs. Now, this figure where it feeds less than 1/2 a person is actually more. If you actually, you could feed less than 1/2 a person once you take out the fact that vegans are adding in crops that don't exist. What I mean don't exist, they're saying if you take all the pasture land and convert it to crops, right, you'll be able to feed that 0.42 of a person. That's added in there. Those crops don't exist. And they can't, because we have to do regenerative farming. You know, you have to have your cow today on last season's cornfield so he can fertilize it so they don't deplete the nutrients out of the ground. In turn, that goes into the vegetable matter that we eat and they eat. So they refertilize it, they recycle it. So you take the cow off of that pasture, you put them on last harvest's ground, you regrow the grass, the cows refertilize it, and then you dig up or plow under the last season's pasture and you turn that into a crop. That's how regenerative farming works. Vegans don't know nothing about farming, science, numbers, stats, nothing. Nothing. It's a complete fucking blank in that head. It's just a bunch of unchecked emotions that have nothing to do with logic. They're caring about, you bring up science, they lose that debate, and then they say it's not about health, they lose that debate. Now it's about empathy toward the animals, and they lost that debate too, because animals aren't sentient. Animals kill each other every day. You cannot charge a person for slaughtering an animal for food unless you go, if you consider animals humans, Then you got a lot of fucking animals out there to lock up. You got a lot of wolves. You got pigs. Pigs will eat a puppy. If they grab a puppy, they'll eat it. You better start locking those animals up. You want human rights for animals? Then they have to accept human punishment as well. Can they understand the concept? I don't think so. You got these vegans on here on some of the channels. A lizard dies under their care. They cry. An adult cries for 3 days straight. My daughter's goldfish died. It took her like 2 hours to get over it. We had a burial at sea. This adult, the woman from those annoying vegans, has a mental breakdown for 3 days where she could barely function without blubbering all day long. Her husband should be ashamed of himself that he can't see the signs of mental illness and he just accepts it so he can get some lame-ass pussy from that friggin' skeleton. Now, if we were to adjust the figures out of here for the made-up crop yield figure, it'd probably be about 10% of a human being they'd be able to support. So don't listen to vegans. They lie. They make up figures. They don't know what they're talking about. They can't grasp the use of a simple calculator. They start spouting out stats that don't exist. That the people who actually have stats don't recognize those stats. Who actually do it, that have credentials and degrees, so many degrees that fill a friggin' room. The FAO figures are done by 95 different countries, and it's like maybe 500 to 1,000 scientists that contribute those figures. They actually go out to the crop yields and actually sit there and do the calculations per ton. The yield, how much goes to where. They got the records. No, not vegans. We'll just make up figures and then we'll twist them so they work out. All the grain grown goes to feed the 8 billion livestock could feed 24 billion people. And when you adjust the figures for the chaff that's included in the animal's diet, what humans can't eat, you can't even support one human for a year. Don't listen to people. They're fucking liars, and they're not even good ones. Anybody could do this math, so they gotta be lying. I know they're stupid, but they can't be this fucking stupid. Come on. And on that note, I'm out of here.